I'm Victoria Lee from Behind the Music, and today we are sitting with Jono Johansen, one of our most powerful vocalists in SA. Thank you for being here.
Oh, stop. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited for this interview because I know it's going to be very vulnerable, candid,
yes.
and honest. So let's start at the beginning. I didn't actually know this, sadly, and we've been friends for so many years, that you won the World Championships twice.
Yes, well, I can't take full credit. Yeah, I went to the World Choir Olympic Games.
I didn't know such a thing existed, to be frank.
It's massive, actually. There's about 20,000 singers in the competition. It happens biannually, so every second year, and they're hosted in different countries. In 2016, it was actually here in Pretoria, believe it or not. Yeah.
So you won it in 2016, and there was...
Well, in 2014 and in 2012.
2014 and 2016.
Yeah.
Tell me, that kind of pressure, how did that form you as a vocalist? How is that different from being part of a choir and being a solo artist today?
Well, to be fair, choral music is very different. It doesn't necessarily teach you how to be a singer. It teaches you how to sing, obviously, in your vocal range and to fit within a group of people. The idea of a choir is to sound like it's one voice,
yes.
Or essentially, depending on how many harmonies, 3 or 4 voices. That's what it should sound like. So you learn to texturalize with the people around you and to kind of fit into the same spot, to look out for the person next to you when they need to take a breath, and likewise when you need to take a breath if you guys are sustaining a note. So it's an incredible teaching tool for working with other musicians, other creatives, trying to fit into a box that you're all trying to make look the same.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very different to singing on your own. Everyone kind of explores in different ways and finds their own voice, if you will. I have my own opinions about that, but we'll get into that.
We'll get to that just now, yes. But I know you started off quite early. Please tell me about your journey. How did you find your love for music? Is this something your parents instilled in you?
Well, I mean, firstly, my parents listened to loads of different music, so that was incredible to grow up around. You know, anything from your Golden Earrings and Van Halen's to Andrea Bocelli and Josh Groban and ABBA and all of those things. But it actually, weirdly enough, came from a few things, but I think the most memorable moment for me was a DVD of Queen live in Budapest that I watched over and over and over again, and I was just besotted watching mainly Freddie and Brian, to be honest, more Brian than anyone else actually to begin with, and so I begged my parents to get me a guitar because I was like, that's what I want to do, and yeah, about a year later I got a guitar. Started with lessons, and that was that. From the first lesson, I was like, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life, and never changed my mind, I guess.
When did you add the piano?
The piano also initially started very young. I grew up in a very small town called The Bluff in Durban. Rough and tough from The Bluff. We make lots of jokes about it. Obviously, good old artists from there as well.
I'm from there as well.
That explains a lot.
It actually does.
But yeah, it was a very small town. There weren't a lot of resources, you know, as you would have in Joburg, for example,
yes.
Pretty much anywhere in Joburg compared to a lot of the smaller coastal towns in Durban. So I worked with this very old, elderly lady who was teaching me to play the keyboard, and I hated it. I was like, not a chance. Guitar is my thing, and I'm happy with that. And then when I went to Drakensberg, actually, to the boys' choir school there were just instruments everywhere. And so I just started teaching myself a bit of piano, and then I started with lessons shortly after that. As I started high school, actually, I started with piano lessons, yeah.
Okay, so there was quite a big venture from being in a choir setting and then entering the first formal The Voice South Africa.
Well, the solo thing actually came a lot before that. Yeah, so weirdly enough, my mom because I was in the choirs at school and everything,
Yes.
but mostly playing guitar and accompanying the school choir and things like that. And they would say to my mom, your son can sing, like you have to get him into some singing lessons. And she heard a radio interview, well, a radio advert on East Coast Radio at the time. Mr. Dave Gazzelli was the DJ, and his wife is Cindy Dickinson, who is quite a famous UK pop star from the 70s, 80s, and she had a music school in Westville, as vocal academy. And so my mom got hold of her, and then I started with vocal lessons through that, and obviously through the radio station and all of the connections through that environment that I was in. I started doing a bunch of fundraisers and things like that. My first live performance actually was at Suncoast Casino. I was 10. I was petrified. There were about 1,500, 2,000 people, all in that like main quad area, whatever you would call it,
courtyard.
Yes, courtyard. And I was petrified. I sang "Where Are You Christmas" from what's it? The Grinch.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, and a beautiful song. And I was so scared. But yeah, after that, it was a bit of a bug.
I can almost imagine like preparing to compete in the choir setting and then entering the voice. Two different worlds.
There are very different worlds, and I don't think I realized the level of self-assurance you need to be in any way a public figure. Not just music, but to be in the public eye, you have to know who you are. And when you don't is where problems come in, and where a lot of mistakes happen, both from the fan and from the artist.
I think that's actually something we should talk about, because I think that is it's such a vulnerable thing to be in the public eye, and you have always been very frank with who you are and how you express yourself. How do you mitigate some of the backlash that you might receive from that? On an emotional level, how do you deal with that?
Honestly, it's adapted and evolved over the years. I still like to think of myself as young.
Well, you are.
Yeah, but over the years, especially I think COVID was a big catalyst for me in that sense, because I would say before that I was very reserved, very calculated on the way that I presented myself, and to an extent you do have to be when you're in the public eye, to consider everyone that could could interact with you in any way, but at the same time, I was very closed off, actually very reserved and very careful on what I said, what I did, how I dressed. And then COVID, I was forced to spend a whole lot of time with myself for the first time ever. And that kind of got me to actually figuring some things out about who I am, what makes me happy, and not what expectation I'm trying to fill of the people around me or the environment around me. And so started to express myself more openly, and yes, a lot of backlash came with that, between friends, family, whatever. People are very uncomfortable with what is not
the norm.
Known, or the norm. And I don't know, that kind of gave me a little bit of a fire in my belly of like, okay, so let's talk about this discomfort. Let's create it and get these conversations going. Number one, obviously, it's because I express myself in whatever way makes me happy.
Yes.
But I do know that sets off a few alarm bells for people, and I live for those conversations that I can sit down and have with them, to firstly learn from them, from their perspective, and to try and show them mine.
To be a bit more open-minded.
Yeah, absolutely. Because without individuality, this planet would be boring.
Completely.
There would be nothing, actually. Because you can't have good without bad. You can't have light without dark. You can't have normal without weird.
Yes, for sure.
If there was nothing weird, then nothing would be normal. Yeah.
I agree, and I see that in a lot of your lyrics. You've shared some of your new music with me prior to the interview, and I've listened to some of your lyrics. and I find it extremely vulnerable. Was there a specific song throughout your career that you felt really cost you something of yourself to put out there?
I think every song kind of costs me something in some way or another, but that's just the kind of writer that I am. I am a very emotional writer, and for me, like, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of focus to work on a song that doesn't need to have any particular meaning. Obviously, there is massive function for that music. You know, I'm not saying any music is better or worse than the other, but my writing is quite keenly focused on telling a story, sharing a message, sharing learnings, findings, things about myself that I've used the song to kind of cathart out of myself and make sense out of, so that by the other end of it, I have some sort of clarity behind that experience. And yes, obviously, I'd love for people to hear that music, and if they resonate with it, then amazing. If they don't, then they don't. That's a part of the human experience, is it not?
It is. Do you think your writing process is how you process your emotions?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, I do try and process, but again, I'm also very careful on when I process, and that's also something I've learned over the years. Everyone feels emotion, everyone feels anger, everyone feels jealousy or envy. Everyone feels it. It's part of again, the human experience, but it's about trying to find some clarification and some sense behind why you felt those feelings, you know?
And tell me, the birthing process of your EP, I really want to talk about this. So you are on the brink of releasing something beautiful.
Yes, I'm very excited. It's actually going to be dropping today. Yes, it's amazing to finally be releasing a body of work. Yeah, my journey through my adult music career has been a very twisty and turny journey, and as a result of that, I've only ever been able to release singles and features over the years, which have been great. But like releasing something that's a body of work is different. It's kind of like a little love letter, mainly to myself, but obviously to anyone who's willing to listen to it.
Do you have a favorite track on your EP?
I do. I think it's probably my favorite song I've written so far. It's one called Young and Unafraid. It's a song I wrote with a country artist named Alexandra May. Lovely girl, beautiful songwriter. Yeah, we wrote that song about basically these expectations that we set for ourselves growing up as we're kids, and you know, by 25 I'm going to be married with a house and a car and all of that stuff.
We dream big.
Yes, of course. I'm going to be famous, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be, you know, there's loads you could use as examples, but then real life arrives and it's like, okay, I'm 25, I have a bunch of debt and I don't have my own house, like where's my wife? Thankfully I have that.
Where's my
but yeah, no, it's very easy for us to let go of those goals and those dreams when they don't arrive in the timeline that we dedicated to it. I want to learn how to play the piano, you know, and you never get to that goal that you want to do. Suddenly you're 45 and you're like, I'm too old now. And the song is there to say, nonsense, you're not too old. You still got a long way to go. You have no conception of when this journey is going to end. So live it as if it's not.
I genuinely thought that you would say the song that you had written for your dad was the most personal to you.
It is definitely the most personal. It's just, yeah, I love that song so much, but I get very emotional whenever I sing it.
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, so it's still, because yeah, my dad's experience, well, the experience I had losing him was a very personal one, very close to home. Yeah, I literally ushered him through that last experience basically on my own, obviously with my wife, you know, to help me, but she was busy watching our kid while I was
doing that.
yeah. And yeah, that song took me about 4 or 5 months to be able to sing through without just completely breaking down. But it was also the thing that pulled me out of the rut, because I was just in an emotional dead zone.
Yeah, just numb and moving through it.
Correct, yeah.
I think that's the thing about artists a lot of people don't realize is how much you actually throw into your work. It's very easy for us to look at this and go, you're a public figure, your life might be great, but people have no idea what goes on behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
So besides...
Behind the music.
Excuse the pun.
Sorry.
But besides putting a part of yourself out there, what do you feel are some of the pitfalls of the music industry that other people might not be aware of? Because, for instance, I have seen you work yourself to the bone over the span of a couple of years.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this?
Look, the music industry, especially in the current climate, is not an easy one to be in. But also for all of us that are in it and truly in it, it's our only choice. Not because we can't do anything else, because we could, but it doesn't fulfill. I've tried to be other things. I've tried to be a salesman and an advertiser and a...
What did you sell, Jono?
I sold aeroplanes and helicopters.
Well, that's a far cry from what you're doing.
Except I didn't sell a single one. Yeah, but I mean, it was also a weird time. But anyway, point being, this industry it's something that we do because we have to, not because we want to. We want to, obviously we want to. That's why we put ourselves through the torture that we do. Most of us that are performing on a circuit level are having to do so much singing and performing and playing to make ends meet, to find some sort of sustainability. And the amount of diversity that we've had to create in our bubble to be able to find sustainability as well. That's a question I get asked a lot, actually, of, you're a full-time musician, how do you do it? How do you make money? In all honesty, is you just need to be working as much as possible, singing as much as possible. Obviously between my solo thing, we've got our tribute shows that we do between Muse and AC/DC, a two-piece
Which
band.
are phenomenal, by the way. You really have to see this.
Thank you. But yeah, that's the only reason I'm as busy as I am, because nothing is busy enough on its own.
For sure.
But that means I'm having to do between 4 and sometimes even 12 different performances through a week to make that kind of income. That's not all the time, by the way. I'm not that busy. but
how do you manage this? How do you take care of yourself on a physical as well as a spiritual level? And how do you take care of your voice if you have to perform so often?
That's a tough one. There is no perfect way. There are healthy habits that I've tried to build over the years in terms of like doing my breathing exercises every day, keeping my lungs sharp, warming up properly, making sure that I stay hydrated. And it's a lot easier said than done, especially when you're moving in and out between places. You've done a show and afterwards the people want to have a bit of a hang with you and they want to buy your shooter and you have a drink with them because obviously they appreciated the performance that you gave. And for me, I appreciate immensely just them listening. So just having that little bit of an exchange where I get to know the people around me, the people that are listening, is part of that experience. And all of us have to balance that in some way or another in terms of just being out in a social environment for a living, basically. So it's finding a balance and not overshooting the mark when there are still X amount of shows through the rest of the weekend, kind of things.
I wanted to ask you about your other venture that you have with a few partners. I think it's Merrick and Ruan. It's Dead Babe Productions.
Yes, so Merrick and I are partners in that. It's a very cool thing. At the moment, it's a very difficult space of the industry to navigate as well. In all honesty, I don't have to tell you, everyone knows your disposable income nowadays for the average person, just in the current circumstances, is next to nothing. And our job is built on that, on people going out, spending money, buying tickets to our shows, spending money at the bar so that the venues can make more money to invest more in the venue, to invest more in us.
Yeah.
It's a circle of spending money is what the entertainment industry is. So it's quite difficult to navigate now, but we are having a lot of fun doing what we do. Mainly, obviously, the tribute shows is what we've been facilitating of late, but we also have done a few smaller tours. We brought Ned Everett here last year.
I remember that was very cool.
Yeah, amazing fretless guitarist. Go check out his music. Hi Ned, by the way. And yeah, we went on a little 6-week tour with him through all of the small parts of South Africa, going along the coast. Obviously we did the Cape Towns and Joburg and whatever, but taking him to Hogsback in the Eastern Cape and performing in East London, performing in Knysna, taking those trips up and around has been something that we tried to build on, but obviously now with the current petroleum situation, touring is not much of a viable option at this point in time. But we're working on other things.
I'm sure things will stabilize. Well, I'm hoping it'll become better.
Yeah, they will.
Are you going to be touring with your album or the EP? You're releasing that first. I'm expecting more songs as well.
Yes, yeah.
So is there a tour?
I mean, the EP for now, in all honesty, I've been working on music. Obviously, I've been writing, but I've been recording and producing certain things over the last couple of years that I just haven't released yet, because getting all of the PR and the media, all of the content that you need to push a single on your own and without dispensable money to do so is very difficult. So that's why I haven't released in 2 years. But I just got over the fact that I'm holding on to all of this stuff while I'm getting it together. So literally about 8 weeks ago, I said to Merrick, because Merrick and Ruan have Studio 31, which used to be Ballyhoo Studio, believe it or not.
I didn't know.
Very cool, amazing studio to work
Phenomenal
in.
setup,
Yeah,
yes.
I love working in there. It's awesome. But anyway, I said to Merrick, listen, I'm over not releasing music. I need something out there for people to start listening to while I'm getting everything else ready. So we decided, just let's do a 5-track EP. I just chose a bunch of songs that are important to me, that I've written over the last couple of years. I would say pivotal moments, in a way, if I could say it that way.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm very excited for people to hear it, to hear the messages of the songs that are in there. And then obviously afterwards, I've got a bunch of singles that I'm just going to try and release as consistently as my content creating skills will allow me.
I wanted to ask you as well, you've gained quite a lot of experience over the last couple of years. If you had to impart some wisdom to youngsters watching this that want to break into the music industry, what are the key elements that you would note?
Well, there's a few, and it depends on which facet of the industry you're wanting to get into. If writing, recording is a thing for you and it's a focus that you want to put your heart into, then write with everyone, literally everyone. Doesn't matter if they can only play a D and an E and a G major chord. Write with everyone you can get your hands on. Every creative brain is a part of learning to write, because writing is such a subjective thing, right? It is in itself innovation, it's creation. So there is no right or wrong way to create. There is only creating. But everyone has their own way of doing that. Some people like to write an entire musical piece first. They write the guitar parts and everything, and they just get the song, and then suddenly the lyrics come to them. Some people like to write the story first, or write the lyrics as a poem. There's so many different ways, and through the different genres as well, there's so many things you can learn from that you don't necessarily have to use, but
So just write.
just write all the time. Record, even if it comes out cack. It's just a part of the learning experience, and the only way you're going to learn is by being surrounded by people who know more. If you're the person in the room that's giving everyone the advice, then you're not really in the right room. Not that you're in the wrong room, because I do believe imparting and sharing all that knowledge is equally as important. But learning first before you impart knowledge onto anyone. I mean, we're all in a constant state of learning as musicians, I believe.
That's a true story.
Yeah.
So just that one piece of advice, writing.
Well, right. Number 2, diversify. Like I said, get different projects, get different bands, play in a blues band, put a 2-piece party band together. I do karaoke. I run karaoke, on a Thursday. It's my one residency that I do, but it's that little bit of financial security that I know at the end of the month I have this much coming in from those gigs, so that I know I can cover, my family's
so having some business
needs.
savvy.
Have some business savvy. Don't lock yourself into residencies, please. Like, that's the death of so many musicians and bands, and just the passion. Try and keep yourself open to any experience. I mean, I go and perform with the Cape Malay choirs once a year. Well, for the last 2 years, I go down there and perform with them.
But you've won there as well, if I remember correctly.
Yes, but just do as much as you can. Obviously within reason. The diversity will create sustainability. It takes a little bit of time for each thing to get up and running and to find some sort of demand, but the balance between all of those will create a platform for you to at least be able to be a full-time musician and cover your bills, which for me I think is the key mark of success in the music industry right now. If you're paying the bills, you're a successful musician, and you should be proud of that. Yeah.
Being surrounded by musicians for the last couple of years, there's something I've noted, that at some point every single one of them wanted to throw in the towel.
Every single musician has had that thought.
How did you work through yours?
Many times. My first one was actually after Idols. A lot of people don't even know that I did Idols.
I was like, didn't you do The Voice?
I did do The Voice, but I did Idols season 9. It was in 2013. I was 16 years old. And yeah, there was a whole bunch of... it was pretty much the birthplace of internet trolls. Once Instagram became like such a big part of daily life for everyone. Well, not just Instagram, but just as an example, social media in general, let's say it that way. And yeah, got a lot of death threats. I got a lot of...
Death threats.
Yeah, you have no talent. I got a lot of kill yourself, like, yeah, you should just, like, a lot. There was a lot of negative media for me behind my whole Idols experience, and after that, honestly, that's the closest I've ever come to quitting music. I didn't pick up a guitar for 6 months after Idols.
You've seen that as something that we don't often get to see or experience, is what you actually go through.
Yeah, but I think anyone who has the burning need for it, it doesn't matter what you go through, you'll always come back to music, and music will always be waiting there for you. After those 6 months, I realized I was just going further and further down this hole of depression and sadness, and the second I picked up my guitar again was the second I started healing, and I was like, okay, that was pretty much the last time that I ever decided that I wanted to quit music. Yeah, it's never happened to me since. I think I learned the lesson of, the second I step away from it, things are going to get worse rather than better.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And then for our viewers, if we want to find you, we want to go see you, we want to hear you, please give us your information.
The name is Jono Johansen. Instagram, Facebook is all the same. On Instagram, it's at Jono_Johansen. And yeah, I'm going to be trying to share as much of this journey as possible. English fails me. I'm going to be...
I do this.
Okay, cool. Yes, I'm going to share as much as I can about the journey and the whole process of what I'm going to be putting myself through for the next however long this chapter goes. But yeah, very much looking forward to it. And this EP is just a bit of a springboard into the music that's to come. But don't expect the same thing.
No.
That's also a bit of a mission statement for me right now, and for a lot of other musicians. The thing of trying to stay within the same box, in the same lane, the same genre, scape, however you want to call it, I think is nonsense. And I'm going to be trying to prove some people wrong.
I'm ready for it.
We've got
our
acoustic music, we've got some dance music.
Dance music?
Yes, still some stuff that Dale and I wrote together.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Are you going to release that under Euphoria?
No,
Okay.
no. We'll release it under our current
I'm excited.
names. And yeah, some rock music, some funk, some... Well, I'm not going to give it all away, but there's a lot.
Yeah, a little bit of suspense. Just a tad.
I'm just very excited.
Jono, thank you so much, first and foremost, for being here, but always answering all the questions so authentically.
Of course.
And being vulnerable.
Yeah, well, it's kind of my job to be vulnerable.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Who am I? Who does the world want me to be? Should I tell a lie? How much should I let people see? 'Cause I'm scared if I show the world the heart that beats within, they'll laugh at me. Will they laugh at me? Where do I begin? Who are the people I let in? Will I ever win the fight that rages from within? 'Cause I've held myself back way too long for all this peace of mind. Well, that's over now, I'm gonna let it out. Put one foot in front of the other. Don't be scared to show them your colors. Band-aid off, just pull off the covers. This is who you are. I'm not perfect, but I'm perfectly me. No one gets to pacify me, 'cause I'm standing up, I'm loud, I'm proud, I'm strong enough to be perfectly me. No more lies, no holding on to that disguise. All those scars, they're just a part of who you are. Yeah, those ugly parts were hard to face, but pressure's what a diamond makes. And all you have to do is be yourself. Put all your trophies on a shelf. Celebrate the wealth of lessons learned from being helped. None of us go through this life alone. Your friends will be your cornerstone, and all it takes to make it through is put one foot in front of the other. Don't be scared to show them your colors. Band-aid off, just pull off the covers. This is who you are. perfectly me. Perfectly